What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So you're looking for a new laptop. You need a big, beautiful screen. You need performance that you can handle more than just a few Chrome tabs, and you want it without completely emptying your wallet. For years, that's been the promise of Dell's Inspiron Plus lineup. This is the latest iteration, the renamed Dell 16 Plus model DB16250. It's packing Intel's new Core Ultra Series 2 processors and a whole lot of potential. But in a world of MacBooks, XPSs, and countless other competitors, does this mid-range machine truly deliver the Plus experience it promises? Today we're doing a full review. We'll cover the design, the 2.5K 16-inch display, push the performance to its limits, and I'll tell you who I think this laptop is really for. Let's get into it. For those familiar with the predecessor 7640 and watch my review of this laptop, not much has changed with the design chassis on the new 16 Plus. There's still the large ventilation grills at the bottom to suck in cold air, helped with the rubber feet around it. There's also vents at the rear for blowing out the hot air. The aluminium exterior shell is in an ice blue colour. The wrist rest is pretty solid when pressure is applied, but the keyboard does flex quite a bit. Similar story with the display lid flexing when pressed, but otherwise the chassis is well put together. Starting weight is 1.805 kilograms or 3.98 pounds. The 16 Plus is not exactly light and not one to carry around too much. Better still, leave it on the desk to work on. The wrist rest is quite large to accommodate the spacious touchpad. The surface feels rough to the touch, but at least it doesn't leave any fingerprint marks. The display lid is smooth to the touch. The round corners give the 16 Plus a softer and slimmer look. Quick word on the green credentials of the 16 Plus. The top cover is made of 50% recycled and 50% low emissions aluminium. The fan housing is 25% recycled ocean-bound plastic, and the palm rest support bracket is 15% recycled steel. To open the bottom cover, loosen the 9P1 Phillips head screws that secure the base enclosure to the top cover. Carefully separate the rear left and right edges of the base enclosure from the top cover with a plastic pry tool and lift off the bottom cover. Memory is soldered on, so cannot be upgraded after purchase. Storage is taken up by M.2 2230 solid-state drive. You can upgrade to a longer 2280 SSD to expand your storage needs. The 64 Wh battery is removable along with the WLAN wireless module. What's the display like on the 16 Plus? Our model has a 16-inch 2.5K 2560 by 1600 anti-glare WVA display with ComfortView Plus. Brightness is rated at 300 nits with a color coverage of 100% sRGB. Good for most office or school usage along with light, photo or video editing. It's not a panel for professional use. The screen is sharp with a 2.5K resolution and smooth motion with 120Hz refresh rate, reducing motion blur and screen tearing. Brightness levels could be higher, making it harder to view the screen near a sunny window, although the matte anti-glare coating helps reduce reflections to a degree. You can open the display lid with one hand, opening up to 180 degrees flat, useful for finding the optimum viewing angle. Speaking of which, viewing angles are great on this screen. On the left we have a HDMI 2.1 port, one USB 3.2 Gen 2 10 gigabits per second, Type-C port with DisplayPort 1.4 and power delivery. Finally, one Thunderbolt 4 port with DisplayPort 2.1 and power delivery. On the right we have a headphone microphone combo jack and one USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A 5 gigabits per second port. The wireless card inside the 16 Plus is an Intel Wi-Fi 7 BE201 2x2 and Bluetooth 5.4 combo card. Wireless connectivity was excellent across 2 rooms during testing and reliable with the Bluetooth external mouse or speaker. The full-size keyboard has a nice soft tactile feedback when typing on for long periods. The keys are well spaced out with good travel. The 2-level backlighting is useful along with the numeric keypad. The power button in the top right corner also acts as the fingerprint reader, which works rapidly and accurately. The ubiquitous Copilot key is present to launch the Copilot service on your laptop. My only bugbears are the small enter key, where sometimes you accidentally hit the hash key, and the clicky tappy noise with every press of the keys. The smooth touchpad is slightly orientated to the left. Dimensions are on the generous side, giving a comfortable glide action with your fingers. It's responsive and works well with multi-touch gestures. Noise is not too offensive when depressing the mouse buttons, although they do feel a bit cheap. Audio is tuned by Waves Max Audio Pro and Dolby Atmos cores. Dual stereo speakers with integrated dual-ray microphones. The twin 2.5 watt speakers are located underneath the front of the chassis. Audio fidelity is above average, lacking some warmth to the vocals when listening to your favorite Spotify playlist. No surprise, bass is lacking too. Volume does get quite loud without distortion. Here are some audio samples. The webcam is a 1080p at 30 frames per second Full HD camera. The video quality from the camera is above average, offering plenty of detail and good lighting conditions, but in poor conditions the quality dips with video artifacts and washed out colors. The dual array microphones do a good job of picking up vocals, perfect for daily Teams or Zoom meetings with your work colleagues. Inside this review model is an Intel Core Ultra 7 256V upper mid-range Lunar Lake family processor. It sports 4 new Skymont E-cores and 4 new Line Cove P-cores running at up to 3.7 GHz and 4.8 GHz respectively. The AI MPU has a 47 TOPS newer engine. Power consumption or TDP is rated at 17 watts or up to 37 watts on turbo boost, along with 16 GB of LPDDR5X 8533 soldered on memory and a 512 GB M.2 PCIe NVMe solid state drive. Windows 11 programs and applications run smoothly. For example, opening multiple Edge or Chrome tabs, Office 365 applications, data analysis, and AI productivity tasks like Google Gemini or Microsoft Copilot search work smoothly. For a benchmark test, we set the best performance mode in Windows and plugged the laptop into the mainstream testing. The CPU test results show that Ultra 7 256V's multi-core performance is disappointing, but its single-core and everyday efficiency is good. This shows in the Cinebench 2024 and Geekbench multi-core benchmark scores, coming fairly low in the CPU rankings. The opposite is true in single-core benchmark scores, with the 256V coming towards the top CPUs in the Cinebench test, and in the middle of the pack with the Geekbench test. In PC Mark 10 it does fairly well, only beaten by the top-tier processors. Here's a list of the benchmarking results for reference. The Intel Core Ultra 7 256V has multi-thread performance slightly faster than that of the Core Ultra 7 165U and the Core i7 1360P. In general benchmarking results, the 256V is similar to the AMD Ryzen 7 8840HS and AMD Ryzen AI9HX Pro 370. Using the quick CPU tool plugged in balance mode idle, CPU temperature is around 40 Celsius. CPU clock speed is around 1.3 GHz on the E-cores and 1.6 GHz on the P-cores. CPU power is around 4 watts. Keyboard temperature is around 31.6 Celsius at the center and 33.4 Celsius at the top of the vents. The single fan stays silent throughout. With video playback balance mode, the Ultra 7 256V fluctuates between 50 to 52 Celsius on average. CPU clock speed is around 1.3 to 2.5 GHz on the E-cores and 2.3 to 4.2 GHz on the P-cores. CPU power is between 3.8 to 5.3 watts. The single fan stays quiet with a low hum at around 37.5 decibels, and the temperature at the top vents is 35.1 Celsius and 34.8 Celsius at the center of the keyboard deck. Set to high performance plugged in running Blender benchmarking, the CPU fluctuates around 4.25 GHz on the P-cores and 3.7 GHz on the E-cores. CPU temperature is around 87 Celsius and CPU power is between 20 to 35 watts. The fan does kick faster and louder at up to 56 decibels. Temperatures around the vents are 41 Celsius and 38 Celsius around the center of the keyboard deck. Using the quick CPU tool in battery mode, balance mode, idle, CPU temperature is around 27 Celsius. CPU clock speed is around 1.63 GHz on the E-cores and 1.6 GHz on the P-cores. CPU power is around 0.15 watts. Keyboard temperature is around 25 Celsius at the center and 26 Celsius at the top of the vents. The single fan stays silent throughout. In battery mode, balance mode, video playback, the CPU power is around 3 watts on average. Clock speed is around 1.5 to 2 GHz on both types of cores. CPU temperature of 40 Celsius. The fan stays virtually silent with a low humming from the fan at 30 decibels. The center of the keyboard deck is 31 Celsius and the top vents are 28.7 Celsius. Same can be said with running the Blender benchmark under battery mode best performance. CPU temperature hits 73 Celsius before coming down to 60 Celsius, and CPU power is constant at 17 watts. CPU clock speed fluctuates from 2.5 to 4.2 GHz on the P-cores and 3 to 3.5 GHz on the E-cores. The fan does spin up quickly. It's a constant loud fan noise at 50.5 decibels. The keyboard deck is warm to the touch at 38.6 Celsius and 41.1 Celsius at the top vents. Using OpenAI GPT OSS 20p under LM Studio on best performance mains, the center of the keyboard temperature was 39.6 Celsius and temperatures by the top vents of 42 Celsius. Fan noise was constant and loud at just under 57.8 decibels. The laptop is unresponsive as it's heavily taxed. Here's a list of the target audience for the Dell 16 Plus DB16250 laptop. Business users, digital nomads, company directors, working from home. Inside it's an Intel Arc 140V integrated graphics. This is a direct successor to the Arc 8 iGPU. It has 8 Xe2 architecture cores running at up to 2050 MHz and 8 ray tracing units. Power consumption is around 20 to 30 watts. The 140V sits just above its rival in the AMD Radeon 880M and 890M iGPUs. On this review model, shared GPU memory is 8.9 GB and GPU memory of 8.9 GB too. While it's not a dedicated gaming or heavy video editing machine, the Intel Arc 140V graphics can handle some light creative work and casual gaming better than you might expect from a general laptop. In the graphical benchmarks, the Intel Arc 140V is a strong iGPU performer with 3D Mark TimeSpy benchmark. In the still Nomad benchmark, it only falls behind the Intel Arc 8 core. In the older 3D Mark Night Raid benchmark, it's just below the newer AMD 8040S. The graphics on the Arc 140V are pretty solid for casual and occasional modern title launched in 2025 at low to medium settings. Here are some gaming samples. The 16 Plus has a few security features to keep your data safe. We have a fingerprint reader located on the power button, Windows Hello for facial authentication, there is a webcam privacy shutter to stop prying eyes, and a TPM 2.0 security encryption chip. The 16 Plus has a 4-cell 64 Wh battery. On 40% brightness balance mode running a 1080p video playback loop, battery life was just over 11 hours. With 40% brightness balance mode running PC Mark 10 extended like a power user, battery life was just over 7 hours. The DB16250 comes with a 65-watt Type-C adapter. A 30-minute charge will give you around 37% of battery life, the good, the bad, and the really bad. Decent display. The base model comes with the 2560 by 1600 pixel resolution and the 120Hz refresh rate, providing a sharp and smooth viewing experience that's often better than other laptops in its price range. The only weakness is the low brightness levels at 300 nits. Good port selection. Great to see a good selection of ports on the 16 Plus. One USB Type-A, 2 USB Type-Cs including a 40 gigabits per second Thunderbolt 4 port, ample battery life. The 256V processor provides over 11 hours of video playback, and you would easily get a day's battery life with general day-to-day work. No SD reader. The predecessor had an SD card reader. Dell removed this useful port for transferring photos from a digital camera. Soldered memory. Unfortunately, with the Intel Core Ultra Series 2 processors, you can't upgrade the memory after purchase as it's soldered on. Look on the bright side, the onboard memory clock speed is faster. Cheap inputs. The keyboard and touchpad feel cheap when using them. The keyboard is fine to type on but feels plasticky, and the touchpad mouse buttons don't have a quality feel to use in them compared to the competition. Poor multi-thread. The Intel 256V has poor multi-threading performance. It's only useful for general productivity tasks. Won't be great for content creators or data analysis. There's healthy competition in the 16-inch general laptop category. What are the alternatives to the Dell 16 Plus DB16250? In no particular order, here's some to consider. Lenovo IdealPad Slim 5 Gen 10 16-inch AMD, Asus VivoBook 16 X1607, MSI Prestige 16 Evo, Acer SwiftGo 16, HP OmniBook 5 16-inch Intel. The Dell 16 Plus DB16250 laptop is aimed at users who want a decent multimedia device for general productivity tasks. The display is a good 2.5K 120Hz screen for media consumption. The keyboard is comfortable with a numeric keypad, and the touchpad is reliable, bar the suspect built quality of the integrated buttons. Compared to its predecessor, the Dell 16 Plus has gained additional battery life at the expense of performance. If you need to run more demanding applications, the 16 Plus won't be for you. Look at the more expensive Dell Premium with Core H and optional discrete GPU options. Otherwise, if you don't need the extra oomph and you can get one in a sale, the Dell 16 Plus is a good value for money, no frills laptop. What do you guys think? Leave your comments and discuss below. Hope you guys enjoyed the review of the Dell 16 Plus DB16250 laptop. Please click on the like button if you enjoyed this review video and subscribe if you would like to watch more of our tech videos. Thanks for watching. Cheers.